to the sixth edition of the hashtag How to Relationship podcast. I am joined, of course, by the lovely and talented Devon. Devon, how are you tonight?
Hey, I'm doing good. I had a really great nap with the windows open today. It was beautiful.
Yeah, you had a nap. That's one of the reasons. That's actually one of the reasons why I did not. I wanted to do the dating show, the 40-year-old virgin today, but I had a little situation that I had to deal with. Not to worry, we're going to finish it on Monday. Cool. So don't worry about that. We are going to finish the 40-year-old virgin breakdown on Monday, so you guys do not have to worry about that. If you have a disagreement, if you have a question, a comment, a concern about any of our topics from tonight, the last night, the last podcast, whatever the case may be, if you want advice, you can call us up, 516-387-1987, or you can join the Zoom link. The Zoom link has been pasted. It's been pinned in the chat. And again, if you want to get on Zoom, I ask two things. Number one, just be polite. Let's not call each other names. We can have a contentious, spirited discussion, but let's not get to the name calling. The second thing is I've got to see you on camera. As far as the phone lines go, I want you guys to understand that when we first pick up the phone, this is going to be the screen that you see. That's going to be the screen that you see. So when callers come on for about the first 30 seconds or so, you are not going to hear the caller. You're going to hear only us. And to be honest with you, it could actually go a little bit longer than that if I get a sneaking suspicion that we might be dealing with a troll. Haven't really dealt with too many trolls as of late, so I think we're okay. But that could happen at any time. So we've got all sorts of things to keep in place. So tonight's main topic is the question we're going to ask is, should modern women marry for money? We got a couple of topics to discuss before we get into should modern women marry for money. But let me get Devon's thoughts on should modern women marry for money. Give me your 30-second elevator pitch on modern women marrying for money.
Modern women should not marry for money. Modern women should marry for stability. Because any guy can have $100,000, $200,000, $1 million a year. Mm-hmm. And then the next year be back down to $30,000. So you've got to find someone who is capable of making a living consistently.
Okay.
As far as from the point of view of a woman.
Okay.
Because, anyone can get lucky and their business takes off and, wow, this is great. We did $2 million in profits this year. And, oh, my God, that's awesome. And then 5 years later, he ran the business into the ground and is $3 million in debt. So you've got to find someone who can sustainably make a living throughout the longevity of the relationship or throughout life.
No, I'm with you. And you make a good point about the stability. So let's go back to your scenario. Let's just say a guy makes $2 million in 1 year. Mm-hmm. Let's just say he's semi-wise with his money and he blows half of it. He's got $1 million for the next 4 years. That's $250,000 per year for the next 4 years. So think about it. Let's say he makes $2 million profit after taxes, whatever. Mm-hmm. Let's just say he just blows $1 million of it at the casino just because he wanted to. Okay. He's still got $1 million left over for the next 4 years. That's $250,000 plus he's still got profits coming in from his business.
Right, but let's just say that now that he's making he's made that $1 million or whatever, she doesn't want to work. So she stays at home, starts a family. Now you're splitting that $1 million or that $250,000 a year for the next 4 years between 3, 4, 5 people. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be enough to sustain a family of 5 within 4 or 5 years.
So you're telling me that $2 million is not enough to sustain a family of 5 for 5 years?
Well, you said he blew $1 million of it.
You're telling me $1 million can't sustain a family of 5 for 4 years?
Depends on the lifestyle that they set up. Because if you're blowing $1 million, then obviously you're buying cars, you're buying all kinds of things. So you're setting the standard high.
I got you.
So that's what I'm saying. It's just, I think sustainability and stability is just as important as a guy who makes a lot of money.
Okay, so Devon, you're right, but you're a woman. You went woman on us.
Yes.
We'll discuss the economics of all of that. If a man makes $2 million in 1 year, he's going to be all right, okay? I don't think he's going to lose. If he can be as unstable as possible, $2 million, that's a lot of goddamn money.
Yeah.
Okay. He could be the world's most frivolous spender. It's going to take a while for him to get through that. Number one. Number two, no woman is going to leave him if he makes $2 million. So let's not
No, I didn't say that.
Oh my God. You know what? We'll save it. I think you're out thinking the room here.
Like, put it this way. I think it's more important for modern women to prioritize stability over just having a lot of money.
So stability plus money equals good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
so you have a choice between two men. One is stable. One just made $2 million. The stable guy makes $50,000 a year. Who are you going with?
Oh no, stable. The 50,000 isn't really enough to run a family.
Well, there you go. Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. The more money you make, the less importance stability is to a woman, regardless of what age she is.
I know.
Listen. What you said is 100% correct, but you outthought the room. I just asked you a simple question. Should modern women marry for money? Yes or no?
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
There you go. Thank you. That's okay. Very good. All right. So
you bullied me into that.
I did not bully you in anything. Dude, I asked you for your 30-second elevator pitch. We spent 10 minutes talking about somebody's spending habits. We do it live, ladies and gentlemen. So Jay Blaze says the super chat button is not there. Yeah, I don't see it on my end either. It wouldn't surprise. I mean, I'm definitely Danas Wodab spelled backwards. I can tell I'm losing subscribers every day. Eventually, I'll come out of it, but it is what it is.
You want me to make sure it's turned on?
I wouldn't worry about it. Let's just do the podcast and we'll figure this out another time. So let us go. So what we're gonna do is we are going to. So we've got a couple of stories we want to talk about here. So you sent me this a little bit earlier, Dev. Khloe Kardashian criticized for hospital bed photo after surrogate mom had her son.
I saw this one coming when I saw this photo yesterday that she posted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Her surrogate had the baby, and she posted a picture of her holding the baby sitting in a hospital bed.
Is that out of bounds or not? I mean,
it's pretty disrespectful to the woman who carried, birthed, and whatever. You know, like first of all, she didn't do anything to be sick. It's almost like stolen valor.
Okay, but she carried Khloe Kardashian's baby. You want to know why that matters? Is because Khloe Kardashian probably paid her a boatload of money to do that.
Right, but Khloe Kardashian did nothing to deserve to sit in a hospital
except for pay this woman probably upwards of six figures.
So she could take a picture holding the baby anywhere else.
Let me ask you a question. Which do you think costs more? 9 months of carrying a baby and then labor, or $150,000? Okay, exactly. You can't make that decision because they're incomparable. However, if I'm a woman, and look, I understand what you're saying here. You're a woman, so I guess you would feel this way. And you've never given birth or anything like that, so I guess you can't speak to that. But if I'm a woman, if I'm Khloe Kardashian, and I paid some chick $152,000 to carry my kid, you better believe I'm going to take that picture. Really? I just paid you $150,000 to carry my kid. My kid is, and that's a Kardashian kid. So that kid is going to cost a lot of money, plus what she actually paid to rent someone's womb. And if I'm a woman and I'm paid, let's just say it was $250,000, and I'm a woman and I carry, I don't give a damn if I'm in the picture or not. Hey, take the picture, baby girl. I'm $200,000 richer.
No, it's not that. It's not that she was the surrogate mother was left out of the photo at all.
I don't see her in it.
No, it's the fact that she took this picture as if she just gave birth to the child. So it's like she's pretending like she didn't do it with a surrogate.
Okay, so but we all know she did it with a surrogate. So why does it matter?
A lot of people,
let's read the story.
Maybe a lot of people didn't know.
Let's read the story. Let's read the story because this is actually a good discussion. Khloe Kardashian in Yahoo News posed for a photo in a hospital bed looking like a blissed out mom who'd just given birth to a tiny baby boy in her arms, but it was a surrogate mother, not Kardashian, who actually labored to birth the newborn, and critics piled on over a photo that many considered arrogant and insensitive. Let's see who this was written by. This was written by, this has to be, it's written by a woman, so that makes sense that it would slant that way. Okay, it's bad enough. Oh my God. What? It's bad enough men trying to erase women. Jesus effing Christ. But when Unbelievable.
This is not the point of view that I would take. But
Unbelievable. So even though this is women piling on Khloe Kardashian, they had to put in the feminist pork. Anyway, I'm not even going to get into it. It's bad enough, the article continues, men trying to erase women, but when a woman tries to airbrush the birthing mother out of the picture, it makes me feel a bit sick, one critic complained on the mom discussion site Mumsnet. I guess that's in Britain. Renting a womb, commissioning a baby, erasing the surrogate mother, and the realities of her experience, and posing in a hospital bed as if that cost and reality was hers deplorable. Another people can't write.
nope.
Others complained about Handmaid's Tale vibes, referring to Margaret Atwood's dystopian novel of a future in which remaining fertile women are forced to give birth for women of authoritarian leaders who pretend to be the children's actual mothers.
That's a little far.
Dude,
Let's reach.
it's
on that
dystopian and it's fiction.
Right.
So, okay, all right, there we are. But several defended Kardashian for taking the time to bond in a hospital bed with her new baby, whose birth was announced early last month. I don't really have a problem with this. I can't carry a pregnancy because of my health. Because of my health. And we were looking into surrogacy. If we had been able to have a child through surrogacy, I'd want to have the same moments every other new mom has. I'd probably take the same picture. Nerdy empath said this. The parents get a room adjacent to the room where the surrogate is giving birth to wait in. They discuss in the newest episode of their show.
I guess it'd be like similar to adoption.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, I guess, you know what, it's interesting.
You know, that would be interesting. If she really adopted the baby, she would be a hero for taking a picture in the bed.
Oh, ain't that
right?
something?
But
Yeah,
because
ain't
she
that
paid
something?
someone to incubate the baby,
Yeah.
because she didn't want to ruin her body, I don't know.
I mean,
That's
look,
a little weird.
everything has a cost.
Mm-hmm.
Khloe Kardashian saved the wear and tear on her body, but I think she probably is going to bond with the baby, but the bond's not going to be as strong as if she had carried and birthed the baby on her own. I'm not a woman, but it seems that the only people who have a problem with this are women and maybe effeminate men. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. Women tend to get very vitriolic about the fact that birthing
surrogate
children
mother.
belongs to
I got
them.
you.
Yeah,
I got you. That makes sense.
But in a way, like it's kind of like women whose husbands are in the military.
Yes.
Try to proclaim like they're in the military too.
Yes.
Which pisses a lot of people off.
A lot of people do. People do not like that at all when they start talking about, oh, I'm a military veteran because my husband was a military veteran. Blah 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 blah. Let's see. Jay Blaze 11 says she was coming off a bender. Dre Raven in the chat section says it's like buying your way out of a draft conscription, then posing in a military uniform as though leading a charge. I suppose that makes sense. Geeky Anomaly says getting into the hospital bed is the weird part. I suppose so. Okay, now that I can certainly
I
understand
can see
that.
both sides of it, but as a public facing person, that's not the type of picture that I would have posted to introduce my baby to the world.
Yes.
And it's not the kind of conversation that I would want to start it out with this new life, you know.
King Life says the Kardashians clearly don't care about their kids. Well, we already know that because one of Kim's kids has already seen the sex tape between her and what's his face? Jay Blaze calls it stolen valor. I suppose. Hey man. I mean that. Okay, all right. I can see it. I can certainly understand it from both sides, and I can understand that as a man. I don't have an emotional response to that because I don't birth kids. As a woman, even though you haven't birthed a child, I don't know, maybe if you were on both sides, maybe you can understand one way or the other, but I can understand the stolen valor. But by the same token, Khloe clearly paid this chick a crap load of money.
Well, yeah.
She wants to have the moment with her kid too. And I think it hasn't Khloe Kardashian carried a pregnancy to term at this point?
No, her last baby with Tristan was surrogate too.
Oh, so Khloe is definitely in the business of not messing up her. Oh, okay.
I think Kim did it too.
Oh my God.
The whole family, like, it's just.
Wait a minute. So all of Kim's kids were.
I've never seen a picture of her pregnant.
Holy moly. Wow. Can you imagine if all of their kids were. Oh my God. That's the Kardashians for you. That is the Kardashians for you. Let's go to another article you found very, very interesting.
Super weird.
That is, yeah. I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm not having kids, so
Why
it is
bother,
what it is.
right?
Yeah, it is. Well, we got to talk about this stuff. 3 skills to help men understand blue pill versus red pill behavior. You can't fake it until you make it. So this, I can't tell if this was written by a woman or not, but this was written on Medium. And what's surprising about this particular, tell the audience what's surprising about this article.
It was written for the Good Men Project, the website, the Good Men Project, and it was published on Medium as well.
Okay. So it was, and the Good Men Project is definitely a blue pill type.
Yeah,
it's a blue pill
the articles
trying to be.
There go either way. So I wasn't really sure which direction this article would go, but I was pleasantly surprised, to be honest.
Okay, very good. Let's go ahead and start it. There is a new hot topic I bet you have heard floating through the dating and relationship airwaves. The topic is red pill versus blue pill theory. So number one, this article is about a decade and a half too late.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole red pill versus blue pill, that is what my entire empire is built atop. So this has been, I've been in this community now for this is my, I think, 8th or 9th year.
Dudes are waking up every day. So.
Hey man, I guess this is a good thing. Usually, this debate would be a discussion around the choice to stay content with standard practices given to you in life, or the option to have an awakening to see the deep, unsettling layers that could change your views of the world. For heterosexual men, this topic has taken on a whole new meaning. The new debate is the discussion to continue the patterns that cause men to fail in dating and relationship marketing, or challenge your beliefs and understand human nature and apply your understanding to your behaviors in the market. Wow. We have seen this topic blow up, it continues, in popularity and consequently play out like a game of telephone. The message has been lost in translation and taken into a new context, looking down on female nature rather than purely understanding it. So let's stop right there. So what this article actually is, it actually points out something that's very, very accurate in that the red pill, a lot of the red pill has been bastardized. It's been co-opted by people who are reckless with it, and they give the community a bad name, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, just the metaphor of the red pill has been bastardized completely.
Yeah.
Where it's, when we talk about red pill, we talk about dating and relationships, sexual dynamics, and things like that. And then there's the people who try to politicize, the red pill is really waking up to who's in charge and the conspiracy theories and QAnon and all this other weird stuff.
God, yes.
And so for someone to actually acknowledge that, hey, this is red pill, blue pill. Either you understand the way people actually operate in real life versus the narrative, or you just follow the narrative and hope it works out.
Yeah, I think, and there are so many. I think there's so many people who have co-opted and bastardized the red pill, especially the Johnny-come-latelys. Like Alex with Playing with Fire. I respect the guy, but he uses such antiquated terms. He's still talking about negging women and the alpha guys I know, and I'm like, dude, like this is the kind of language we used on Return of Kings back in 2014.
Right, like the red pill has evolved over time.
And he's coming in on the bottom floor thinking that we are talking about what you talked about years ago.
Right, it's no longer about PUA. It's about like actually functioning throughout the life of a relationship too. And it's, red pill doesn't just apply to how to get women, it's also how to keep them, how to keep them and keep your sanity. And also how to keep them and you happy at the same time. And
that goes to self-improvement. I think the first person, I want to say, I'll give credit to the first person who really came into the red pill space and started talking about self-improvement was Alpha Male Strategies. He's the guy that figured out, okay, this PUA stuff works, but what happens after you smash her and she wants to come back? What happens if you actually start to catch feelings for this girl? All of a sudden
one-itis.
One-itis. All of a sudden now your PUA skills don't work in a relationship because you're not just looking for the one night stand. It's more about congruency.
Right. Like, why have a relationship when you could just spin plates, bro?
Yeah, dude, there's this one dude who wrote in the comments section, and I have nothing against this, but you can tell he's new. Yeah. He says, well, why, knowing what you know about the red pill, why would you ever be in a relationship? Exactly what you said, when you can just spin plates. And I wrote a response to him. It's because spinning plates, at some point, you grow out of it.
Right.
It does get a little bit old. Like sleeping with a new woman never gets old. It's what it takes to get to that point that becomes grueling. And I use this example all the time. Ray Lewis famously said, Sundays you get for free. What you're paying me for are Monday through Saturday, the walkthroughs, the practices, the two-a-days, the film studies, the stretching, the voluntary the voluntary team activities, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, ask like Troy Aikman and Tony Romo. Playing the game was awesome.
Yes.
But sitting in the booth, talking is much more relaxing, just as profitable.
That's right. More profitable, actually.
And you're not getting hurt. You're not risking breaking a leg, pulling a hamstring, anything like that. So, like you do evolve through life. There's a point to start and, get your feet wet.
Yes.
Play the game, evolve, coach, or master the game.
Right. Yeah, I remember Tony Romo was a lot better than we all thought he would be on TV. He was so much better. And I remember I said to you, Tony Romo, that's the reason why he's having such a good time and he's got a smile on his face. He's like, dude, I'm making twice the money. You mean I can make twice the money I was making playing football and I don't have 300-pound defensive linemen chasing me around the field?
Yes.
Sign me up for that. Well, it's kind of the same thing, kind of, with the transition. Mm-hmm. It's like, listen, man, picking up chicks and sleeping with girls and clubs and bars, all that is fun, but at some point it does get old.
Pregnancy scares,
STDs, forgetting her
sugar
name,
in your gas tank.
Oh my god, oh my god.
Multiple phones.
She didn't put sugar. I caught her trying to. They got out of locking gas cup. I was like, hey, get the hell! Oh my god, I was so pissed off. This woman was 44 years old. She was a goddamn smoke show, but she was crazy.
Wow.
Dude, you could tell. And dude, I've seen pictures of her when she was younger. She was hot. She was a cheerleader, but dude, she was nuts. She was absolutely nuts. Okay, let's get back to the article here. That is not the goal of understanding the theory. The truth is, there's a set of male and female biological behaviors that create patterns in our interpersonal relationships. That is the science supporting the thought. Once you have a clear view and understanding of what is in the mixing pot of the theory, you can begin to implement the practices to improve your dating life. Unbelievable. This is what really blew me away. I was like, wait a minute, this sounds like it's pretty accurate now.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody did their homework.
Yeah, for once, instead of just watching Fresh and Fit clips and
oh
my god, misogynistic Fresh and Fit. And Fresh is an island boy and Byron's not even black, whatever. It also says, remember, this will teach you the red pill view of dating. If you want the soft, feel-good explanation, don't proceed past the dotted line. And this was put on the Good Man Project and also Medium.
Yeah.
Medium is almost just like Bold. I get a lot of my articles that I used to break down from Medium.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very weird to see an accurate and male positive article on any of these websites to show up in my newsfeed. It was really strange.
Yeah, that is strange.
Because usually it's the same old.
Yeah, they're misogynistic and blah 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 blah. They
yeah.
should be canceled. Okay, well let's see what else it said. Male versus female nature. First, you have to understand the differences in female and male nature at a base level. Women biologically should and do seek out the most suitable mate to ensure security and the best possible outcome for any offspring. Men want to seek a mate loyal to them and not available to other men. It would explain why women want an emotionally secure man who has direction in life, is a provider, and makes them feel safe. These elements ensure security. Men want a woman who is theirs and provides the lowest threat to their peace of mind. I know in the world of sexual freedom, it is now taboo to turn your nose down to promiscuity, but a lack of it creates security for a man.
Yes.
How about that?
Common sense.
I cannot. What's really blowing me away is the fact that this article was written on the Good Men Project. What are you doing?
Can I have a squirt bottle, please?
Huh?
Can I have a squirt bottle, please?
Next time, just ask, because you look like you were trying to Jedi mind trick. Oh, it's Kelly down
Dexter
there messing.
eating the.
Trying to eat the wires or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have some feline saboteurs. Let's continue. This is interesting. This is very interesting. Well, it continues. It can feel like you are playing an unfair game. The average man makes around $40K, while 11.3 of us are in some form of therapy, and a whopping 23% attend the gym. 23% attend the gym. The 11.3, I definitely buy. The whopping 23% who attend the gym, that's probably closer to the first of the year. So I don't know.
You think that only 20% of guys actually do gym stuff?
This is why gyms are one of the most profitable businesses, because I think it's only like 9% of the total gym membership holders actually use their gym memberships.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's
I'm in the wrong business.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I need to open up a women's gym.
Dude.
I'll have like a 4% attendance.
They did. It's called Planet Fitness. And that's why they're opening 5 new locations in every city every day,
okay.
because we got these hand planted. Yeah, $10 a month, no commitment. Oh, no commitment. It's like it puts it in their mind that I don't have to finish this out. So yeah. The dating market works like inflation. The article continues, as time goes on and beliefs and expectations of men go up as well. And to be in a red pill mindset is to evolve with the time. This is probably the most accurate depiction of the red pill outside of this community I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable. Becoming the coldest version of yourself. The best, coldest version of yourself? Okay, maybe he wanted to put the best. So, do you ever feel like you were playing an unfair game and are the only one struggling in the dating market? I have to break some news to you. Your only option is to level up. So far, so good. If I told you a restaurant was average, would you go check it out? Likely not. If I told you a movie was okay, would you run to the theater to see it? Probably not. Again, average cannot be unacceptable in every facet of life other than when it applies to you as a man. Again, the average is okay, but you don't accept it elsewhere. Man, this is, dude, so far so good. Leveling up does not mean being a millionaire with a six-pack to gain women's attention. It does mean showing a level of ambition and taking care of your health, whether that be mental or physical. Yes, agree or disagree?
I totally agree.
The mental part. Talk to the audience. Talk to the men out there who are new to this community about the importance of mental strength, because there are a lot of people who are in great shape, who make a lot of money, who are very mentally fragile.
Yeah, there's nothing more unattractive than a mentally fragile man.
And what's a mentally fragile man? What does he look and sound like?
Okay. Let's see. If you go to the Nice Guys subreddit and you read how some of these guys react to either not getting a response quick enough, or getting, or even being ghosted, or just saying, hey, I like you, but I don't want to go out on another date, or something like that. Like, just being turned down at all. Right. They turn around and they're like, well, F you, B, blah, 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 you're ugly too. Like, you wouldn't believe how these guys react.
That's like female. It's like, whoa.
Dude,
like handle your rejection here, buddy.
It's like, like they just hurl insults at the girl and, basically, and that's what a nice guy is. A nice guy is
passive aggressive.
Nice until you say no. I saw a video the other day. A girl met a guy on Tinder. They talked for 3 weeks. She goes over to his place. He expects to smash, so she starts recording, and he's like, let me help you. Why are you even on Tinder if you don't want to have sex with people when you go over to their houses? And she's like, I said in my profile I wanted to date. And he's like,
oh my God. Now that's on her. You don't talk to someone on Devon. No.
I know. It was ridiculous.
I gotta call you. Yeah. Dude, why else do you think you're going over there to fight for underwater basket weaving and baking cookies? Get out of here.
Exactly. And for the audacity of her to record him in his own home, explaining to her that Tinder is for hookups, and if you're gonna go to somebody's house, they can't expect you to hook up with them. He's like, let me do you a favor, just explain that. She's like, you're mansplaining me. Oh my God, it was ridiculous. It was so bad I thought it was fake after a while, but then why? Plausible deniability can only take you so far.
Yes.
And then you're just an idiot, or you're taking advantage of somebody.
Oh my God. All right, let's go to the phone lines here. We got area code 207. I have a feeling who I think it might be. Area code 207. You're on live at Donovan. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Jay Blaze.
Hey, Jay Blaze. What's up, brother? I figured it was you. How you doing, man? Well, what's on your mind, brother?
So what I've noticed is women are shifting to, they want status instead of money. Like, a woman would rather get with a guy with a high title in a medical field.
Okay.
That doesn't make as much as a plumber.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts on that?
That's actually for Devon to answer. So let me just make sure I'm understanding your question here, Jay Blaze. So I think what he is asking is,
I know what he's asking.
Okay. Well, I just want to make sure I frame it for the audience. So what Jay Blaze is asking is what he is saying is that women would rather have the status over the title. So in other words, and let me just make sure I'm understanding this correctly. Women would rather date a CEO who makes $100,000 a year just for statistical purposes than a plumber who makes $250,000 a year. Is that what you're saying, Jay Blaze?
Yeah, they'd rather have the guy with the 4-year degree than a guy with a trade degree.
Oh, 4-year versus trade degree.
Yeah.
Okay, what are your thoughts on that?
It all comes down to like a social status and how things sound. Okay. So if I'm meeting someone and they go, "What does your husband do for a living?" and you say, "Oh, he's a plumber," or "He's an electrician." Mm-hmm. It doesn't sound quite as good as, "Oh, he's an assistant anesthesiologist."
Okay.
Or he is, he's an assistant in a vet lab, or something that just says, "Oh, like my husband's educated versus my husband works hard." It's putting on airs is all it is. And it's just trying to make it look like, wow, I really got someone who has is so smart, that's how he makes his living is with his mind, when really, our world is built by men who work with their hands.
That's interesting.
And not only that, plumbers and electricians are some of the smartest guys out there.
Yes, they are. They gotta be.
Dude,
carpenters. Oh my God, all those guys are math and geometry experts.
Yeah.
Jay Blaze, is this almost like a debate between like white collar versus blue collar? Because we have a lot of women out here who don't want to date blue collar guys. Is that for that reason that you're talking about?
Yeah, I believe this is a continuing trend because right now you have Walmart who is offering over 6 figures for truck drivers because they're 80% in the whole of truck drivers. And even in my state of Maine, you only have 200 to 300 master plumbers, and all of them are like in their 50s.
Oh, wow.
Which is concerning.
I'll tell you what, this goes back to my earlier statement that if women were really modern women were really smart, I would rather take an electrician or a plumber over a CEO who's going to lose his job next week because stocks crash.
Yeah, right. Because the shareholders want him out, or he's stooping one of their wives, or something.
Yeah, or they need a more diverse leadership group or something like that.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So and not only that, you're never going to run out of a need for blue collar workers.
No, never.
So either between supply chain, I mean, if anything, the pandemic taught us that. So, while everyone else is sitting at home twiddling their thumbs on Zoom, you've got people that are actually out here making the world go round.
Yeah.
And those are the people who really didn't suffer as much financial loss. They did suffer some, but it wasn't as big of an impact as a lot of the people who are into like hair cutting or cashiers.
The gig economy. Okay.
Yeah. I think the gig economy took off, but that's just a matter of necessity. That's not a
nobody
choice.
nobody in school saying when I grow up I want to be an Uber driver.
I want to be an Instacart.
I want to be DoorDash. Yeah. Nobody's.
I mean, during the pandemic, I had some girl come to the door. She had a necklace on with like all these tags. She had a Shipped, Instacart, DoorDash, Grubhub,
there you go.
Uber Eats. She had every single one on her thing, and that's just all she did all day long. And it usually pays the same day. Too,
yeah, so right. So she's making that money. To me, that's a pretty good life to live, man. I mean, if that's really what you want to do.
Put up with a lot of BS, though.
Really, like what? Because we're fortunate enough not to have to do that. I mean, we put up with BS.
Gig economy workers?
Yeah.
Oh, they get screwed over all the time.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like someone will place an order and then like 100, like say it's like 20 items, right? $100 worth of stuff, right? And they'll say, okay, on this order, I'm going to give a 20% tip. So, so you get a $20 tip. Cool. I'm going to grab that job. I'm going to go do it. I'm going to get my $20.
Okay.
After you deliver it, they can change the tip.
Oh, wow.
So next thing you know, you end up with a $2 tip, or worse,
Jesus Christ.
Or some people say that they never got their food. And so
even though
you don't get paid for that order, even though it's not coming out of your pocket, you're still out of that 30 minutes, 40 minutes of your time that it took to go pick stuff up and drop it off.
Gas and all that, yeah.
Yeah. So
gig economy workers, call in, man. Call in or jump in the Zoom link. The link has been pinned in the chat Tell us your gig economy horror stories if you ever have did work in the gig economy. I didn't realize.
They're not protected workers whatsoever.
Well,
Like,
how can you
the
protect
customer
them?
is always right.
I mean, but how can you protect them? You know what I mean? There's so many.
I mean, at least pay them for their time that they're on the clock and doing work. At least a minimum wage, even if,
Okay, well,
things don't work out.
That's a discussion for another time. But how do you know that they're on the clock? I mean, they could just be driving around bullshit, right?
They track, like, when you when you say you're going to grab an order and, like, notified, okay, you're picking up the order, you're on the way to order. They're tracking every time you pick up a job. That
could be a discussion.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. Look, that's a discussion for another day and time, possibly tonight. Gig economy workers, give us a call, man. Tell us about your gig economy story nightmares. Let's get back to our article here. Again, back to a female's desire for oh, wait, actually, you know what I was going to do is I was going to ask you this.
Okay.
Is this white collar, blue collar thing, do you think it's an age specific deal? Because a lot of young girls these days, and I think Jay Blaze, I don't know how old he is. He sounds young. But listen, we all watch Fresh and Fit. You and I, we've been on Fresh and Fit several times. We see most of the girls on there are in their 20s. Those girls would much rather date a CEO or an anesthesiologist or a doctor,
an account executive of some sort.
Right. Than a plumber or an electrician who even owns the business. Is this age specific or is this generation specific?
Yeah, it's definitely a level of maturity, I think, involved there.
Okay.
And you'll notice that if a woman is a single mother, all of a sudden the blue collar workers start looking a lot.
Real talk.
And then women realize, like, oh wait, a lot of these blue collar workers are part of a union. They get
pensions. That's right.
Like all disability, all of this stuff. Oh wait, maybe it's not such a bad thing, right?
Yeah, man.
So that does take a level of maturity to understand that's important.
Okay, very good. Wow. Okay, I just wanted to know because you used to be in your 20s, right? But you married a guy when you were in your 20s. You married a guy who was in your field, but I mean, to be quite honest with you, man, your ex-husband, and I think this is why you're so critical of my graphics because he is mega talented. And I think that's sort of that's the only thing he does better than I do at this point.
No, my dad is a very talented artist, a fine artist,
right.
Commercial artist. Before there was Photoshop, they had my dad.
Wow.
Disney, McDonald's.
Yes,
he's done
the
Super Bowl tickets,
yes.
Orange Bowl tickets. He's done the art for the Florida Panther tickets. This is, so when I see little things like pixelation and things like that, to me it's like, you're not supposed to see that,
Makes sense.
My ex is very talented in graphic design, animation, UI design, things like that. And that I think that attracted me because my dad was similar.
Of course, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So, but that's not why I'm critical of you. I'm not critical of you because of my ex. I'm critical of you because of my dad. I like that. That sounds a lot better.
Well, I'll be damned. Well, yes, her dad is very good. Shout out to Jordan Royale in the chat. We are Instagram buddies. Okay, let's continue with this before we get to our main topic. Again, the article continues. Back to a female's desire for security. You cannot appear to be a weak man. Contrary to the new age meaning of a red pill man, it does not mean becoming jaded. It means having control over your emotions and having strength as you react. Your emotions cannot get the best of you and cause you to react insecurely. You must see the world through the lens of behaviors and not relate events as personal to you. Once you have clarity, you will have fewer negative emotions and reactions to these events. Instead of coming off as jaded, you will distance yourself from the pitfall of sour responses and weak behavior on your part. Wow. This is incredible. Your thoughts?
So you react strongly to things when things happen.
Yeah.
And the thing that I think the difference with you is that you respond not out of emotion, but out of frustration.
Oh, yes.
Okay?
Yeah,
and
that's true.
I think it's different where when you say this isn't working properly or why doesn't it work the same every time?
Yeah, right.
You're frustrated at the problem. You're not saying what's wrong with me. What did I do wrong?
Right, because I'm perfect, goddammit. Yeah.
Right.
Fuck it. I'm doing it right.
But what I'm saying is you're not taking the problem personally.
Sure.
And that's why you're upset. You're just frustrated because, God damn it, it should work. I didn't have time.
Right.
It's just a roadblock. Right. and something that you've got to go around. So
And this explains a bunch of destroyed keyboards and mice and all that good stuff.
yeah, which didn't usually help the problem, but you felt better. So
Yeah, not really. I was, I mean, I felt better, but the pocket didn't. That's interesting. I didn't. And I've reacted emotionally to certain situations. But you're right. When I'm angry at something, 9 times out of 10, it's frustration over something having to do with equipment or whatever the case may be.
yeah,
so
it's
that makes sense.
It's not a you problem, it's a thing problem.
Okay.
Which
All right. Very
is
good.
there's of course you could say that's a character flaw to get
of
angry
course.
at things you can't
Or
control
inanimate
or
objects,
whatever.
you know what I mean?
But
Yeah.
that's the way you feel. That's what you feel. That's
Yeah.
the kind of person that you are. You be you. At least
Well-
you have strong mental fortitude to still be frustrated and get through it. You
That's
don't give
true.
up.
I don't rage quit. No, I don't.
No.
That's a strength, but it can also be a flaw, because that's the reason why I'm up in my studio for so long. All right, I'm going to be done at 7:15. I swear. I run into a problem. I cannot let it go until it's fixed.
Yeah.
It's just not in me. If something is amiss, if something is wrong, I gotta work at it until it's fixed. That's just all there is to it. So I don't know.
I've learned the hard way to not offer to help.
What happens when you offer to help?
Nothing good. Like, no,
Yeah.
I got it. No, then I become the thing that you're frustrated
Yes,
with.
and you don't want that. And listen, and
you're
I'm not a prideful person. If I need your help, I will let you know.
Yeah, you'll ask, but you're so far along now in what you do. Like, you're way
Yeah.
beyond my help at this
Yeah,
point. Like, at this point, I'm just like, if you can't figure it out, hell if I know. And then I just start Googling,
Ah!
suggesting things randomly.
Yeah, and then after I break something, I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe I should Google this. Oh, there it is, right there on the first page. Aye. 2 truths and a lie. There are 2 truths and a lie about being a red pill man. As something is in my eye here. Truth number 1: it will not happen overnight. To learn is
okay?
I'm good. To learn is to unlearn your previous behaviors. Truth number 2: got it. Once you master the art of being the coldest version of yourself, you will dislike the version of you that existed. Don't. That is the growth process. This is insane. Lie number 1: any man can become a red pill. There will always be have and have-nots. That is the truth. That is a profound statement. Not every man is cut out to be. Every man can be red pill aware, because all it takes is just learning and knowing the truth. But to actually live the red pill lifestyle, that most men can't do that. I think that's where a lot of our hate comes from. Agree or disagree that the red pill while most men can be red pill aware, most men can't live the red pill life.
I agree.
Okay.
Agree. A lot of people become red pill aware, and then they rage quit,
Yeah, right.
or they either think they can't do it, or they think that knowing the truth doesn't help them deal with the truth.
Right. Oh my God. Yes.
So
a lot of men, and I think that's where a lot of the lower level MGTOW guys, the black pill guys, they know and understand the truth. But for whatever reason, they either can't or won't or just don't want to do what's necessary to thrive as a man with women here in the 2020s. I can't say I blame them, but it is what it is.
And I mean, not everybody can do everything. I mean,
No.
that's just a fact of life. But, there are some guys that still consume this content, that really enjoy it, that know it through and through, but know themselves that they're never going to be, pulling chicks on the strip and spinning plates and doing all this stuff. But they're hoping that in the relationships that they do, form and throughout life, that this stuff will help them keep those people,
Yes.
understand, and help keep them from getting got.
Okay, that makes sense.
So the knowledge can be useful to just about everybody, but it's how you apply it and how, because a lot of people think like, oh, they end up resenting the alpha dude, quote
Well,
unquote.
they do.
Like,
They do.
they
And
do.
this
like,
is...
oh, the jocks in high school and then end up with the pretty girls and
You can tell, it's interesting, you can tell a lot of the lower level MGTOW and black pill guys, you can tell these were the geeks in high school who got stuffed in their lockers. You can tell because they use the same rhetoric. Well, I don't want a big boob blonde, or I don't want hot girls, or they'll see someone like you. Well, she's a 3. Well,
She's
that's
just with
because,
you
hold
for your
on.
money.
That's because that's because they're comparing you, the three, to filter. Dude, they've got caked on makeup. They've got all kinds of filters, but they're comparing you to that. But then they'll criticize those girls. Yeah, let's see what she looks like without the makeup on. Take off the filters. Okay, so my girl is a 3 or 4 compared to those girls, but then the girls. Those guys are. It's like they're angry at the world, and I can't blame them. Yeah, you can't. I mean, it's just, and you can't help those people. Like we can try, but you can't help those people. I believe that's where 95% of the hate and the criticism comes from, is from guys who understand the truth. They just don't want to accept it, man. It's tough. It really, really is.
Yeah, it's like and the red pill rage and the things that guys kind of go through, especially when they first find all this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, women go through a lot of the same type of things when they find the red pill. Like
feminism lied to them?
Yeah, feminism lied to them, that they suddenly think that because they're not a 10, they're never going to get, a guy of value.
Yeah.
Or you end up thinking like, oh my God, like this egalitarianism that I've been striving for in life is actually going to be my downfall.
Yeah. Right.
So it can be hard it was for me, because at first I was like, oh wait, I got this all wrong. Wait a second, I was like, what? I originally, like, it was funny because when I first started reading red pill stuff, I thought it meant like men and women should be spinning blades and doing all this stuff. Like I didn't understand.
God Almighty!
I didn't understand what the role of women was supposed to be.
Holy
like
moly.
I was like, oh, okay. I got corrected.
Yes, very, 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 very quickly.
I just didn't understand it.
No, you clearly did not. So you do believe that, and I agree with you. I think that the red pill life is not for every man. I don't think it's for most men. But you can't, just because you're not living the 100% red pill life or being a red pill alpha or whatever we want to call it these days, doesn't mean that, consuming this content can't improve your life in some way, shape, or form.
Dude.
Because let's face it, there are a lot of men who have it going on in other places of life, and then finding the red pill helps them to sort of polish that one section that was a little bit off.
Fine-tune things.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly right.
Yeah, because you're never going to be 100 like great at everything.
No.
But all you really need is to be good at just a few things.
Yeah,
and
man. Like, not everybody can be Andrew fucking Tate, man. The only other person that can be Andrew Tate is Tristan Tate. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it is what it is. All right, let's finish this article up before we get to the main topic here. It takes a growth mindset to become a red pill man, and everyone does not have that in them. That does not mean you do not have it in you. Becoming a red pill man has nothing to do with disrespecting women. Wow. It has everything to do with respecting female nature and positioning yourself to respond accordingly. Dude, I'd like to know who wrote this, because whoever wrote this has to be from our community, right?
Yeah, I think so.
This is probably the most accurate. Now, there are more accurate descriptions of this community in this community, but I think this is the most accurate article I've ever read outside of this community that talks about this community.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The conclusion is, you cannot become a red pill man without assessing the mistakes you have made, past and present. I follow a motivational speaker named Eric Thomas, who says change is the ability to shift at any moment, not tomorrow, not next week. Can you get up and change your lifestyle right this second? If you can't, you will be forever stuck where you are now. Also, I don't know that I agree with that 100%, but I understand the concept there.
You reserve the right to change your mind at any
There you go. That's exactly right. Also, it continues, you cannot get down on yourself for your past mistakes. We have all made the mistakes that lead to blue pill beta activity. Psych. You have to break down the man you were to become the man you want to be. You have to judge and kill your previous practices that led to your downfall, or keep doing what you're doing. The choice is yours. Final thoughts on that article, man. I thought that was quite profound.
Yeah, it's a really accurate way of summarizing what the red pill versus blue pill thing is all about, and that we're not trying to what is the word?
Hate?
Like
brainwash?
Yeah, like we're not, like there's no one out here is trying to radicalize people or anything like that. It's just
there's one person who wants to pretend like he is by calling himself the president, but nobody, like, he's a joke now.
Well, yeah.
So
this is just basically saying that the red pill is about self-improvement.
Yes, I like that. Shout out to AMS.
Own your stuff and keep moving forward.
Okay, very good. Derek the Trader with the $10 super chat says, what do you guys think of this trend on TikTok where women discuss their personal lives and or complain about their problems with men? If men did that, we would be mocked into oblivion by everybody. What do I think of the trend? I love it. Dude, that's what I'm saying. I love the trend because it gives me plenty of conversation fodder and gives me a lot of good content. But outside of what we do for a living, what do you think of the trend? I mean, is it a bad look?
It's ridiculous. I wouldn't put my worst moments out on social media for other people to hopefully go viral. Like, listen about my worst date, or the worst advice I ever got, or here's the I don't know. It's so stupid. Like, it's so hard dating after 40 and blah blah. Like, it's cringy.
Dating after 40, and Danny Galiat, I see you in here. I'll admit you here in just a second. Dating after 40, what do you think of that TikTok trend? What do you think of women talking about? Because there's dating after 40, then there's dating after 50, blah 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 blah. What do you think of that particular trend?
I think it's funny because the technology that's in place for dating is not for really people with the mindset that are over 40. And things like that. So, if you're 40 years old and 45, 48, and you're on Tinder.
Oh my God, dude.
Cringe. Yeah. At that point, you should know enough in life to where you should be able to go out and find someone in the real world who has similar interests as you, or, is in a similar field or something like that. It's like, these women are just basically saying, like, hey, I've made a lot of mistakes, and here I'm making more of them.
Okay.
So isn't that fun?
Wow. Okay, let's go to the Zoom link. We've got Danny Galliat. I'm just going to call you Danny. Danny, you got me? Do you hear me? Oh wait, I have to ask him to unmute himself. Hold on, I'm not as good at this as Kevin Samuels. There we go. All right, go ahead. Okay.
America, and when I came to America, I had to learn the language, and different thing that I find out is fascinated. I appear to know them through you guys in the internet world. It's fascinating. It was not an university. It was not in the church I go to. I learned nothing. The word, the awareness, the psychology of women versus men. So I just want to congratulate you guys on what you do and keep up the good work, because you're saving life. Because I can say my life is saved because certain thing that I know, I put myself in a better position. I save my resources, and I don't get played by women. I know what I want. I would invest in what I want. This is what I want. Can you do it? You're not doing it? It's okay. There's 29 other women I got to choose from, so no problem, no fighting. So yeah, because it's like, guys, polygyny will be back. You know why? Because, yeah, you guys know what polygyny means.
We know exactly what it is. Oh, yes.
Yeah, 2 or more women legally. Right. A lot of countries, that's not a big deal. So polygyny will definitely be back. So because as things get tough, so many people, women, gonna realize that, because for decades we were created for one another. Yep. We meant to live for one another. That's right. I think most men do want a woman. Yep. I think most women do want a man. Instead of when those agenda came and play with us, we used to be living together. We used to do so many things without the government. Economy. Women used to, they teach their kids, they do so many things, and we used to have land, we used to build our own houses. Right in America, so many things. So we give this all those rights to the government. Mm-hmm. The government can do it. And when they do it, now we become total slave. Because if they say the lockdown, everything shut down, and then we can't eat, we can do nothing because we have no land, they got completely everything, the government is too big. So the idea is try to better yourself and stay away from don't depend on government too much. And then the better you are, you got the freedom. So imagine a polygynous couple. An example. Me, I got 2 wives. An example. All of us working. We got our own land.
That's right.
The government said you're not qualified. So I'm like, that's fine. I'm making enough money. So what? I'm living in freedom. And we do homeschooling, total freedom. But they will never show that on the media or in the school curriculum system. Why?
Let me ask you this. What country do you live in, Danny?
Oh, I'm living in Florida right now. I mean, I love America. I love America. The opportunity, the work, because I don't have that in my country. Haiti, I came from a country called Haiti. It's the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere.
Okay.
You know, so we don't have that job opportunity, electricity, a lot of things that I find in America, I don't have it at home. So I still love the country, but the information you guys give me, the red awareness, the red pill awareness, I never know about that on the internet. You know?
Let me ask you this. Knowing what you know about the States, do you think polygyny, do you think that even has a chance to exist in the United States? Because you know how American women are, man. They're like, well, if I have a high value man, he can do this, but if he cheats on me, he is done.
What I can say, it's happening indirectly, like polygamy. It just means you sleep with multiple partners, which is both men and women. We do it. We sleep with multiple partners. During our young age, we fought with the energy, because instead of I got the energy, let me find somebody and then deal with that person. We struggle trying to find somebody, and we do know, man. In the little women are more mature. The reason is because the woman is just. We have to become.
Yes.
We have to better ourselves. We have to make sure first. We have to make sure to lead another thing in order for the woman to find the peace, everything she's looking for, and then she don't have to struggle. The men are going to provide the security for her. You know what I mean? So it might take us a little longer, the job, the experience, and stuff like that. But when a woman 18 years old, she can get married if she wants to. I mean, she just gotta be herself. You know, just be. There's no such thing. Oh, you're too young. No. Women are never too young. It's right now in this modern concept society, because in the past it wasn't like that.
Sure.
Men marry any type of woman you want, young, any age. It doesn't matter at all. You know what I mean?
Well,
so
obviously we have laws, but the age of majority is 18 years old, and even still, it's interesting. Even women who are 18 years old, like if women find out, this is funny. So when women grow up in this country, when they're 18 years old, they're dating guys who are 27, 28, sometimes even 30 years old. But then when they're in their 20s and they find out a 30-year-old man is dating an 18-year-old, oh my God, he's a pedophile and blah, 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 blah. It's funny how that changes. I'll give you the last word. Yeah,
the last thing I want to say, let me answer the question in 1 minute. What I want to say, we've been doing polygamy, polygamy, like just sleep with multiple partners. But polygyny, which is the right term, like the man and the 2 wives or more, if that's what he wants, you know, if that's what his first wife wants, you know what I mean? If they agree on that, nothing wrong about that. So we have been doing it indirectly instead of men that have multiplied children with multiple women, and women have children with multiple men. So, and then it's million, and then we have teenage pregnancy, teenage relationship. It's already by million. So we really fighting against something that people are doing indirectly by millions.
Right.
Instead of doing it legally, properly, we would put more women in a situation not to struggle in life. Because by the time we're gonna want to do that, it's gonna be too late. Some men gonna be exit. Probably they go overseas. They already find their woman. They good. They settle. Really, and by the time all those millions of women is like, you know what? I changed my mind. I don't want to be a feminist no more. I want a man. I want to settle. It's already too late. Look what happened to Ukraine. It's
when they're in their 40s.
Now it's chaos. This war. Yeah, it's gonna be too late.
Danny, thank you very much for chiming in, man. We appreciate it. We appreciate that support, man.
You keep doing what you're doing. You saved my life. As a foreigner, English is my second language. You totally saved my life, and I'm using the same information that I encourage people to watch your channel. You all over my page, on my Facebook. Yeah, man, you all over my page. My WhatsApp, Facebook, everywhere I drop you. So keep doing what you're doing. You got people that love you. You know, I mean, a true testimony, an example you can use, like other. You go really fast. So I do see your content on. After I see Kevin Samuel, then your channel pop up. I'm like,
absolutely.
Whoa, okay, okay, I'm like, whoa, okay, that's interesting. And then I become your friend, man. Keep up the good work, and thank you for taking me. I appreciate it. Keep doing what you're doing and ignore the haters, man. You're saving life. You save
Awesome,
my
man.
life, man.
Danny, thank you very much for chiming in. I like getting calls like that, man. It's very, very, it's cool when people, it's cool when we actually get people who, you know, call in and say, hey, man, you know, keep doing what you're doing. And you know, it's interesting because I do make a big deal about the haters a lot, but 99% of people who comment or call in, they're supportive. They really, really are. Yeah. And it's hard to see that sometimes. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's why you show me the nice comments sometimes.
Yes.
It's because I've seen a lot of the hate. So
okay, good stuff.
But yeah, that was a great.
That was a good call, man. I like that.
You know, and it does make you think. Like, 2 points is the women who are 18. Okay, men versus men who are 18. Women who are 18 are in their, you know, 18 to 21. You're really in your maternal prime as far as creating and raising, having the energy and stuff like that to raise children and good health.
Right.
However, men don't know anything at 18 years old.
Oh my God, we don't know
so
jack.
if she wants to pick a mate who can support the progeny of the family, she needs to find someone who actually has it together.
Yes,
so he's going to be probably between, you know, the ages of 30, 35, maybe 40. I don't know if, I think for men at the age of 40, they know whether they want to have a family or not. So
yeah, that's true.
So and women, you have to know because
you don't have much time, do you?
So I think that is one of the reasons why. It's not because men are perverted and want young girls,
no,
or because they can control them or whatever. It's the fact that they have the ability to provide stability and keep a roof over their head and take care of the family, and she's basically, you know,
she's a blank slate is what that is,
well,
man.
Not only that, she's also in her prime to produce healthy children.
Imagine that.
So, you know, you talk all the time about how your mother was always like, I'm so glad I have 5 healthy kids and blah, blah, blah.
And we never knew why, but now we know.
Yeah, you know, but she also had all you guys, you know, between the ages of, what, 18
and 23.
23.
Yeah. I'm sorry, 18 and 24. Yeah. She had me at 18. She had had me at 18, had my sister at 20, had my brother and sister at 21, and had my youngest brother at 24.
That's a busy womb.
That was a busy womb. Yes, it was.
But, you know, with your father being in the military, and they were basically in a position where they could grow the family that they wanted and be taken care of. Yep. And they weren't going, even though things were tight at times, they weren't homeless, you know.
No, we were in the military.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was a very, I don't know if it was a conscious decision of theirs at the time, or if it's just, oops, we did it again.
Well, they were young. Well, they were young and horny. So yeah, probably not conscious, but that's the way birth is.
But if you look at the difference, like with my mother had had her first at 17, and then had me when she was 21, widowed at 21, remarried when I was 6, and today is their 40th wedding anniversary.
Oh, wow. 40 years.
Yeah. And congratulations, Mom and Dad. That's pretty awesome.
Mr. and Mrs. Devon. 40 years.
40 years.
God.
And so, but you know, because she was older, she was in her 30s by the time, you know, they were married and ready to, you know, they were trying for more kids, in this relationship. They didn't try right away, but eventually he wanted children of his own.
Sure, of course.
And
he got them.
It did not come easy. It did not come easy, and I didn't even realize that. I was a kid. You don't know when your mom has miscarriages and stuff. You know, you don't know why your mom's sad all the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but it was difficult, and then with my last brother, my mom was like 32, 33, I think, and even he was premature.
Wow.
A few months premature.
Yeah, and he grew to be 6'4". Jordan, I see you in the queue. I'll get to you in just a second.
But it was scary because even just, you know, when you're in your 30s, it's even lower 30s, the risk goes way up.
Of course.
So, yeah. Okay. I can understand why that would be. That and the reason why polygyny
polygamy.
probably won't be legal in the United States is due to tax reasons.
Okay.
They claiming more than one wife on your taxes
Yeah, I don't
is
think that's
gonna
legal.
be a mess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
it's gonna
sure
be a
that that's
mess. You're
legal.
claiming more dependents. You're getting more tax write-offs. The government makes less money, and that never goes well.
Yeah. The government has to definitely get their share. Let's see. We've got Jordan. Okay, so we've got Jordan Royale on the line, but it looks like he's having some issues with his audio. As soon as I see that come up, I'll give you the green light. Let's go to our last article while we wait for Jordan. This is a very, very interesting article that you picked up. And this is our main topic of conversation. So, should modern women marry for money? So you sent me this article that was published on BuzzFeed. People who married for money are sharing what it's actually like, and it's not what I expected at all. I think let's just go. Okay, so I can hear Jordan now. So before we go to this, let's go to Jordan Royale. So Jordan, what's going on, man? How you doing?
So I love the new setup, by the way.
Thank you.
I just wanted to kind of talk about a couple topics I guess you guys were talking about earlier, which is basically like the number one thing being that red pill's just misunderstood. For me, I was originally like, I got into it, not even realizing, like, before the term was even coined.
Yes.
Right. Just basically burned left and right, realizing that I can't put my emotions on the table. I can't allow myself, I can't allow certain roles to switch or reverse. You know what I mean? Like, let me, this one night, she did this, let me do the dishes tonight. Like, you know what I mean? That's,
yeah.
It sounds silly. Like, how could you be, misogyny, whatever you want to say. But I'm just trying to, just trying to say that, you have to kind of understand where your roles are a man and what her roles are as a woman. And if you kind of flip flop, there starts confusion, arguments, problems in your relationship overall. But I want to say, like for me, so I think, a lot of people, it's like, red pill. Oh, well, you must be an incel.
Yeah.
It's like,
right.
No, that's, it's like, for me, I originally got into it because I didn't even know that, I didn't even know that was a thing. I was into it before it was a term.
Right.
And I think, and another thing that's very important, like, I guess, to me is I'm always fascinated about learning more about women, like our relationship dynamics. So it's a never ending, there's no end zone.
No,
you know what I mean? It's not like running the mile and you pass the finish line.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It is
you're just going to constantly
learning process. Yes.
Yeah. So, I wanted to think, maybe see what your guys' thoughts on that. I mean, maybe that was how it was for you too, Donovan. Like, you were red pill before maybe the term was coined. I mean, that's kind of how it was for me. And then it's like, wow, I found this audience and people can relate. And, that's how it was for them. So I kind of wanted to try.
I'll tell you something, Jordan. I came very, very close to finding the red pill a few times before I actually found it. I remember back, I want to say in 2007 or 2008, I bought a book by Tariq Nasheed called, something, I forgot what the title was, but it was like the Holy Book of Game. And basically what it was, is it was a bunch of PUA techniques. He told us what to say, but he told us what to say, but he didn't tell us how to get there. So for example, I remember one of his examples was, if you're sitting there with your girl and she says, let's go out to dinner. My parents are in town, let's go out to dinner. He says, you should just say no. And when she says, why not? I just don't feel like going right now. And that was profound to me, because I was like, wow, actually telling a woman no, and she's not going to leave you. But he left out a lot. He left out all of the getting there part. And
I hate that. And a lot of gurus do that. It's like, just invest or do. And it's like, dude, like, it's just so, but basic. Like Gary Vee, right? Huge fan of the guy, but it's just so basic, linear info that you can't do anything with.
Wow, dude, Jordan, you use the term that I've been searching for years. It's that linear info. And it's almost like they say, okay, let's say you're in a situation with
all the gurus, bro. That's
all the time.
The gurus that do
and it's
that.
like, let's say you're on a date with a girl and she does XYZ. You should do ABC. Well, wait a minute, slow down.
And that's what a lot of the PUAs do.
Yes.
The PUAs that sell you this, ebook or whatever, and there's no finish line.
No, there's no finish line.
They just want to keep the cash cow going. I'm going to get you there, but then pull back and then get you to sign up for the next course or whatever.
Not only that, Jordan, they don't tell you how it is you got the data in the first place. A lot of their advice is
so. But what you're saying is this was even before there was master courses or online courses. You read it in the book. He was already bait and switching you,
dude.
Wow,
it's unbelievable. They always put you in a situation. Okay, so let's just say your girlfriend does X, Y, or Z, and most guys are like, well, wait a minute, I don't even have a girlfriend. How do I get a girlfriend? Then they buy the next book or course. Well, here's how to get a girlfriend, and it's just PUA techniques. So you so you get good at that, and you have sex with the girl, but then she wants to come over the next day. What do you do? Like, they don't tell you what to do the day after. They don't tell you what you have to become in order to be good with women. They just drop you into these scenarios with these women and say, hey, here's what to do if you get here. How do I get there?
Here's something else I want to say too. Maybe you can agree with or not agree. But a lot of the PUAs, a lot of their receipts are from like 10, 12 years ago. Hey, here's my receipt of how I got this girl. If you do this, and it's like, dude, that was 10 fucking years ago. Like, excuse me, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse on your channel.
No, that's
I'm like, dude, that was 10 years ago. And like, how the hell is that? You know what I mean? Like, and they're applying that and being like, see, and then after this, and then boom, it happened.
Yeah,
okay, so that's how you. And it's like, dude, come on.
And then Jordan, you have guys who. Then you have guys down in Brazil who are telling guys, oh, I've smashed 1,400
yeah, don't even get me started. I went down the rabbit hole of the Brazil, but then there's so many different things with that. There's guys talking about what just regular living in Brazil. And then there's the other side of living in Brazil, you know.
Yeah, right.
Whatever. But I have, anyways, you know, we could go on forever. But I have one more thing I want to talk to you about, which is, you know, Andrew Tate. So my thing is here. I said this to a couple people who are, you know, into him, or you know, they like him, and most guys, you know, agree with, generally speaking, most of his what he embodies, right? The beliefs he embodies. So I look at it like this. What I've noticed, like, what I've noticed is if anything gains too much attraction, and like it could be anything in the news at all, right?
Right.
If there's too much negative like outcries, they silence that person. But here's what happens, and this is what we've seen time and time again, is they'll be like, oh, you know, this actor canceled, or this, you know, whatever it is, it's canceled. But then it's usually celebrity, but it's canceled. And then usually it'll be, you know, 3-4 months later, and then it's like, okay, because it's like their way of controlling the masses.
Yes.
Right? Because if everybody's speaking up and like, I can't stand this, I don't like Andrew Tate. Well, misogyny, I can't, no, you know, and it's like most women that hate him don't even know what he's about.
Of course not.
But anyways, that's besides the point. But if he got canceled, right, and since right now he got canceled, I know Fresh and Fit were over there with Tristan and whatever.
Yeah, they were in Romania.
But since he just got canceled, my thing is, do you think that we may see that in 3 months to 4 months from now, after everybody's forgot about him, well, nobody really forgot about him, but we're talking about the media headlines, the blue media, right?
Yeah.
When the blue media stopped paying it, like, because their blue media canceled him essentially, or that's what they, quote, end quote. So what I'm trying to say is, once all that bad media goes away, because it'll be new things. So they'll be talking about monkeypox next, and then they'll be talking about now some new COVID strain, because
COVID-24,
right? Yeah, exactly. And then so the time has come back and people forgot about it. Do you think that he will be given? Usually this is what happens. Their platforms just magically are up and running again, back enabled. And then boom, there they go. They just continue. Like a lot happens to a lot of YouTubers. Yeah. It's happened to a lot of celebrities that came back, and it's like, I thought he got canceled. Well, apparently not, because I think it's a way that they just, it's not. I think that's exactly what happens. Yeah. It's a way for them to wait till people forget about the person, and then they bring it back. So my thing is, that being said, because of how controversial Andrew Tate was, because he is monumental for us in the Red Pill,
of course,
and the Manosphere. Do you think that he will be given that shot in 3 to 4 years, that he may wake up one morning and boom, everything's, back on. Next day, YouTube's back on. Third day, do you think that could happen? Do you think that's possible? Or do you think that it's just not going to happen at all?
It's weird.
That's what I want to end you on.
Okay, very good. Yeah, Andrew Tate is a very unique, Andrew Tate is the embodiment of everything red pill completely maxed out. I mean, dude, he is everything. He's a 4-time kickboxer.
And we're all, and that's the thing that I hate about Manosphere. People is just like they argue. And it's like, I hate this person. It's like, dude, we're a family at the end of the day.
Yep.
And Andrew Tate took it that far
that
we were able to get canceled. He made it mainstream. This is what people have been saying. Coach Greg Adams has said that. I'm sure you've said that. I'm sure Kevin Samuels has said that at some point. That is the point of mainstream, to the point that everybody knows who Andrew Tate is. Even if they don't like him, women hate him. We got there, so we have to take it and embrace it. But I don't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay. Andrew Tate is the final boss. As far as
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, he is it. He is the embodiment of it. He's a multimillionaire. He's run businesses, all this other kind of stuff. I think at some point the media will eventually forget about Andrew Tate when they move on to their next target. Andrew, the thing is I don't know that Andrew Tate cares. I think I definitely think he wants to help.
He's doing
people,
Rumble now. I haven't really kept up on. I just watched a couple of the interviews, like the Tucker Carlson interview and the other one. But
that's right. I gotta watch that.
The Tucker Carlson interview was on fire, man.
Yeah, dude.
Very good.
I've heard it. I've heard it was, but I really have to watch it. But the short answer to your question is, I think Andrew Tate will be back, but it's gonna be a while. It's not gonna be 3 or 4 months. It'll probably be a good year and a half before.
Now here's the thing.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. By the time the quote unquote blue media is quote unquote ready for Andrew Tate to come back, he might not want to come back. He might just be like, hey, you know what? I'm a zillionaire now. I'll make appearances on other people's channels and this and that and the third. But when it comes down to it, he might not care. So the short answer to your question is yes. I think at some point Tate will be back. It
might not be in the way that we think he will be back or whatever, I guess, right? Is that what you mean?
I'm thinking next year. I'm thinking next year, probably around the springtime, because right now he's the new hot topic. Oh, he's canceled, blah, blah, blah,
and he's
blah,
the new thing to hate or concentrate on, correct? Yeah.
Yep. There's going to be there's going to be a new boogeyman, and of course the election cycle is coming back around. So I think Andrew Tate will be back. I would say probably next spring. It could be sooner, but like I said, by the time the blue media is ready for him to be back, I don't know that he would. I don't know that he would really put that much.
Or if anything, now our voices, now all the other channels and all the other speakers and people in our community will start getting louder.
Maybe.
And by that time, you won't be able to ignore it, and it'll finally be like, well, it is what it is. It's here to stay, just like feminism.
Yep.
And then he'll just come back.
Yep.
So, and it was so funny. That was the other thing that first got me in. Sorry, one more quick note.
Sure, go ahead.
That was the other thing that got me into it, because it was like 2015 or like 2015,
oh, wow,
16 was when I kind of started teetering and getting into this stuff. And then it was like 2017, 18, I'm like, okay, I know this is messed up. 2018, 19, I'm like, I'm thinking there's something wrong with me, like mentally, because I'm like, well, what about men's rights? What about us? Like, don't we have a voice? Shouldn't we? You know what I mean? And that's how, and it's just incredible to see everybody grow, yourself included. Keep on doing what you're doing. I'm going to be out and let you guys continue your show.
Jordan, thanks for chiming in, man. Call back anytime, brother.
Hey, absolutely.
Jordan Royal or Jordan Royale? Royale, okay. Gotcha. Very good. Okay, thanks for chiming in. Yeah, so what are your thoughts on that? Dev, Andrew Tate, is he coming back or not?
I don't talk about him.
I just asked you a question, and I would appreciate an answer.
All right. I think that they've tried to clown him into oblivion.
Okay. Try to make him look like a caricature?
Yeah, and dilute what his real message was trying to help men get through this life. Mm-hmm. If he does come back, it's going to have to be under a new type of show or something that has to do with not just him.
Yeah,
verbally
it's going to have to be
on
yes.
Gotcha. It's going to have to be have a little bit more
diluted.
Not diluted, but just have maybe some more voices in there. I
think the Fresh and Fit platform is perfect for Tate, because it's Myron Fresh, and then there's Tate, sitting there at the head of the table. I think that's a good way. What happened to Tate really, at some point, man. So Kevin tragically died. Do you think Kevin would have been canceled eventually, or because now what Kevin had on his side is that he was a black man. And it's very, very rare that black men, and listen, I know that black men have been canceled, but black men don't get canceled at the rate that white men do. And so, and Kevin was an advocate for the black community. The black community did not, for the most part, did not like Kevin Samuels, but guess what? He became a star for a reason. Yeah, enough of them did to where they gave him props at the BET Awards after he died posthumously.
I don't think he would have been canceled. If he had been canceled, he would have been canceled well earlier in his
That's
career.
True. Okay. What about Myron?
Unless he said something completely off the wall, like, you know, I mean, Myron and Fresh are more along the lines of like what the Man Show used to be.
Okay.
You know, there's an audience for it. I don't think they'll get canceled.
Clearly.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get canceled.
You don't think so?
Nah. Just because they have so many women on their show.
That's true.
How can they be hating women? Like they're 90% of the content, you know.
Yeah,
so,
that's very, very true. Okay.
And not only that, their talking points are reiterated to the point where we know where this is going.
We know where they stand, and they do not hate women. They say it all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. So you know, it's almost like, you know, Andrew has a lot of those flash talking points that just sound terrible out of context.
Like what?
I don't know. But you see it in the headlines all the time. Like, he'll say something that sounds terrible if you just listen to that one little part of it.
Certain women, if they
women should be trained like dogs or something. You know, like you take it out of context, it's going to sound terrible.
Right.
And it's just people who hate people will just basically just try to clown them into oblivion. That's really all I got.
That's what they tried to. The joke is on them because, like I said, Andrew Tate is up to his eyeballs in women. He drives a Bugatti.
Look at what happened to Kevin after he passed away. People still tried to tarnish his name, clown him, clown him in death. You know, he wasn't so great. He died alone, and blah blah blah.
Face down, ass up, like they were clowning him on another. Yeah, that was ridiculous.
So people will try to take their piece one way or another, but I mean, on the message, I think on the whole, I think the message still survives.
Team Peterson says Tate is half black. You know, it's interesting. Yes, Andrew Tate is half black. His father was black. His mother was white. The world sees him as a white man. Even though he is mixed, even though he is biracial, depending on your skin hue, and Andrew has more white features than dark. Listen, I'm not subtracting any ethnicity from him, but perception to the world is reality. And one of the main reasons why I believe that Andrew Tate was canceled is because the world sees him as a white man. This white guy is this misogynist, and he said this and said that. Now, I'm sure if Andrew Tate were maybe my skin tone, maybe Andrew Tate would not have taken off like he did. That's just the way of the world. When black men talk about certain things like this, the only people that really come after us are black men. Or black women. Kevin was black, and dude, 90% of his audience was black, but he was about to be a worldwide megastar. Okay, let's go ahead and finish out this article about marrying for money. So this article is a compilation of stories that people told about themselves or people they knew who married for money. A lot, and we have to understand that most of these stories come from women. Women lie. They don't tell the whole truth. They only tell the bits. They only tell the bits that don't. Yeah, they only tell the bits that don't make them look terrible. So story number one: I was 25, had just quit a job, and had $200 to my name. He was 35, a hedge fund manager whose dad was a successful executive, aka millionaire. Fairy tale romance, quickie wedding. 10 years later, it's a completely mixed bag. He never wanted to have an us life. He never wanted to share anything. She continues, he still goes to the grocery store to buy his own snacks. After I go, I ask what he wants. He won't jointly file taxes with me, and the most annoying thing is that because he's always had money, he makes all the decisions on a whim. Want to go to Las Vegas for the weekend? It was exciting in the beginning, but 10 years later, I guess I wanted a more pragmatic and equal relationship. Bitch, you don't get to have an equal relationship when he's got all the fucking money. What are your thoughts on that? There's cap in that all day long. How in the world can he file... So you mean to tell me this guy files, you're legally married to him, quickie wedding, and he files taxes non-jointly? How does that happen?
I don't think you can you?
I don't think you can either. Yeah, this is cap. What are your thoughts on this?
What is she filing taxes for? She doesn't make any money.
She got $200 to her name. So.
Oh, this reminds me of like a Pretty Woman kind of story.
Ooh.
But
she did have $200 to her name, and she had just quit
oh my
a
God,
job.
we go on all these vacations, but he never asked my opinion before we go.
This bitch, unbelievable. This chick she's been married for 10 years now. She's taken this for granted. Her posh lifestyle is taken for granted. He never wanted an us life. He never wanted to share anything, but he's taking you to Vegas with him, isn't he? He's taking you on trips, isn't he?
He's taking care of you.
It's not like she's living in the outhouse. Like, come on, dude. Like, cry me a river. I swear to God, women. Let's see. Here's another one. Did I marry him for his money? Yes, absolutely. However, it turns out he's an incredibly loving husband and a wonderful father. I was absolutely the a-hole in this situation. He's not conventionally attractive, and he's not particularly funny or charismatic. However, he's an incredibly supportive human who I would not have given a chance if he didn't have money. What are your thoughts here?
Wow, that's pretty profound for her to admit that.
It's profound and it's honest. She kept it real. Look, the guy's not the best looking guy in the world. I gave him a shot because he has money, and surprise, surprise, he's actually a good dude.
Yeah, that's probably the case more often than not too.
You think so?
Yeah, like
you're well,
women
yes,
who marry
course.
for money,
Of
like
course.
you can't have it all.
No, you can't. Like most men who have money are not. They don't look like Chris Evans or Chris Hemsworth or Idris Elba. That's just how it is. So good for her. She figured out that he was a good guy. Okay, very good. Let's read a couple more here. Stop it, Chester. Stop. What was he barking at? I don't know. Probably barking at something on TV. Wait. I don't know what the hell's doing. I had everything I needed growing up, but a lot of importance was put on money. My dad lived below the poverty line, but I was with my mom, who put me through college with no loans, took me traveling all over the world, but also made fun of my expensive taste. Money was a big part of the reason I got married, and while I'm not blameless, my husband has turned out to be an entitled, narcissistic a-hole. We've both been unfaithful, but I haven't had to check my bank account, she says, before buying anything I want for years. I've gotten to drive luxury cars, given his money to charity, and helped out friends. It's just too good. Yes, I'm aware I'm a POS, and for half the strangers who see the size of the diamond on my hand, I can see them judging me as materialistic. Your thoughts?
That's probably the most common case there is of people marrying for money. Mm-hmm. Is they enjoy the spoils of the what is the spoils of the labor? What is it?
It's the spoils of wealth.
Yes. Oh yeah, it's never going to be perfect, and the fact that they've both been unfaithful, I think, is pretty funny. Because she's probably both been unfaithful because he's out there making money,
and she's just bored. What are some of the that's very interesting. Everything has a cost. I've said this all the time. Everything has a cost, including marrying for money. If you're and look. The same goes for men and women. If you're going to marry for looks and looks alone, you're going to have to understand that in this day and age, the better looking a woman is, the less useful she's going to be. Yeah. The better looking a woman is, the more difficult it is going to be to tame her, especially if she knows she has options. Well, it's the same with women marrying for money. If you marry a man specific just for money, you got to understand. And she called him a narcissist. No, the guy is confident and he knows his value.
Yeah.
And he treats her as such. He doesn't take his shit from her because he's like, bitch, I could replace you in a minute with a bitch half your age. Yeah. Oh my God, you're a narcissist. What are some of the pros and cons as a woman marrying with money? Start with the pros. Marrying for money. What are some of the pros?
I can only guess.
Like?
Not having to work.
Okay.
Not having to stress about finances.
Mm-hmm. Not having to check your bank account when you want to buy something.
Yeah. Not necessarily having to struggle with things like, hey, if you don't have time to clean the house, have a housekeeper come do it.
There you go.
If you're sick of dealing with the kids, hire someone to come take care of them for the week.
Rich people have rich people have options. Landscapers. Rich people have landscapers, nannies, people to take care of the kids, housekeepers, and all that. Yeah.
And then the downfall is that your spouse doesn't have as much time for you, or or your kids, or the fact that
he might not be the best looking,
or he might not be good looking, or he might be stepping out on you on the regular.
There you go. That's just part of the cost. This is the problem. This is the problem with women. They want all of the benefits without any of the cost. If you marry a man strictly for money, regardless of the way he looks, you're going to have to deal with the fact that he's probably going to be unfaithful sexually. That's all there is to it. You're going to have to deal with that. You're going to have to deal with the fact that he's probably not going to be around a whole lot. He's probably going to, I can't even say narcissist. He's probably going to be a little bit of an asshole because he can be. Go ahead.
Narcissist is just the latest buzzword to try to call people abusive.
Yeah. Well, first it was abusive and now it's narcissistic.
Yeah,
exactly. Derek the Trader actually, let me go to the super chats here. So he says $5. He says, it is possible to file separate taxes while married. I've done it before. It's termed married filing. I've actually heard of that. Married filing separately.
Okay.
How about that? At the end of the day, should modern women marry for money? And this goes back to the answer that you gave at the beginning. And even though I gave you shit about it, you're 100% right. Modern women should marry for money and stability, because how can I put this? It's if a man makes a lot of money, you have to watch his spending habits, right? But by the same token, he's got to have a stable income. If he's a degenerate gambler, if he's a professional gambler, somebody time out Blosk 323. They're just in here causing trouble. Somebody ban him. Blosk 323. Somebody get rid of him. But stability is, which do you think is more important, stability or money?
Stability.
Why?
Money comes and goes.
Man, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah. And it's just like, what would you rather have? A perfect 10 or a woman who adds value to your life?
A woman who adds value to my life.
Because looks fade.
Yeah, looks fade.
Right.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. All right.
So, yeah, I think especially if a woman values family and values a relationship, she wants that stability. She wants him to be that rock.
Right.
And a lot of times, finances often are the downfall of men.
Oh, 100%.
So if those two go together, then I would rather be with someone who made $75,000 a year and I had to work as well, than be with someone who is in debt every other year or constantly struggling to keep their business afloat, even though it does well sometimes. It doesn't do well other times, or
but listen, you're right. That's the outlier situation. Men with money tend to have money all the time. That's just all. Yes, men go broke, but dude, if a man is worth 7 figures, very rarely is he not going to be worth 7 figures.
I don't have much experience.
Listen. You don't have experience with that, but you know what you want. It is what it is. Like there's nothing wrong with that. There's a reason I got you. There's a reason I got you fake boobs. There's a reason I pay a personal trainer $2,400 a month to make sure you look good, to preserve the good looks.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing with women. Women, yes, they value stability, but they also do value money. So to end the show here, what would you advise young women to look for? Because young women, what would you advise the fresh and fit girls? He's got to be at least 6 foot, make $250,000 a year, blah 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 blah. What would you advise them in terms of the pros, the cons, and the costs?
It'd be interesting if you put like a dollar amount on every requirement that you wanted, and then order them accordingly, and basically prioritize what's important to you.
Okay.
So the guy isn't the best looking dude, or he's got a weird beard, or whatever.
A weird beard.
He's got a unibrow or something.
Oh
right?
Wow, dude, wax it, electrolyze it.
Right, like there are things that you can do to help him kind of up his game a little bit too. But there are also things that you can't help him with, and that is like a lot of times it's him making a living, or his motivation, or his drive, or his discipline, or things like that. So
Jester.
As we said, money does come and go, but discipline, drive, and things like that will get you through all these tough situations together.
Okay.
So, like, I don't know what his deal is. Like, no matter what happens, I want someone who is, going to roll the punches and look for what's next, not sit and wallow, not play the blame game, or do whatever.
What would you advise young women to look for? Because again, we're talking to the girls of Fresh and Fit. They say they want a guy who's 6 feet tall, makes X amount of money, da 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 da. What would you tell them to be prepared for, or should they lower their standards? Like, what would be your advice to these girls, to the girls that you sat on the set with on Fresh and Fit?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Okay, you're not good at this.
Sorry.
Wow. Well, that's how this works, is I ask you a question and you give me an answer. So if there's a 20-year-old hot girl sitting in front of you, like on the Fresh...
I said prioritize what you want.
That's... Okay, let's back up here. If she came to you and says, Devin, I know I want a guy like this, but Myron and Fresh and Donovan are telling me that they're going to be stepping out on me and all this other kind of stuff in no time, how do I deal with this? How do I get a guy like this and learn to deal with this stuff?
Lower your standards to meet your expectations.
But I don't want to... Wait, hold on. But I don't want to lower my standards. Now what?
Then it's too bad. You're gonna lower your standards in one area or another.
There we go.
You gotta pick one.
There we go. In what way would she have to lower her standards if she wants it all?
Income, looks,
there
height, things like that. Like if you want a man,
you can't have it all.
If being completely faithful to you is so important, then maybe you shouldn't be going for the top tier guy at the party. Go for the bartender, like,
oh
you know what I'm saying? Like, go for someone who represents to you, okay, this is sustainable versus this is a flash in the pan and I'm going to be yesterday's news,
it's interesting. I think what a lot of women don't understand, and I think social media is to blame for this, is that wealth looks so easy. They see all these girls on yachts. They have no idea what it takes to actually attain that kind of thing. They think that life with a rich guy is as easy as it looks on Instagram, and it just isn't.
Yeah.
And this is because women have no concept. Women these days have very little concept, or attractive women have no concept of work or money. They take a man's money for granted, which is why they think that most guys make a lot of money.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like that girl who wanted a Birkin bag as if it was nothing. Those are like $10,000
oh my
purses.
God, dude!
Like,
I could buy a vehicle with that.
Yeah. What are we doing? So yeah, I it's funny because the girls who value money really have less and less to offer.
Yes.
Because guys who recognize a woman knows the value of $1 and can take it far and respect the value of $1 will therefore respect his time more.
There you go.
Respect his energy more and therefore respect him more. I think if a girl doesn't really value wealth or even generosity, then she's not going to be respectful in other areas as well.
Okay, very good. We have one last super chat here. Dre Raven says, a $5 super chat says, ladies, lower your standards a little at 22 or a lot at 42.
Very good.
Wow. Very, very, very well said. And with that is going to do it for the 6th episode of the #HowToRelationship podcast. We will see